In the previous video, we learned how we can compare live data versus the NetBox data. In other words, we wanted to check for configuration parity between the actual devices and the devices that we had inside the NetBox platform. So what we didn't talk about was the script itself, and if you want to write your own code for your own use cases, you might want to know how we construct these unit test scripts. So with that, I'm going to copy the code in front of me. I will paste it inside my text editor and I will explain from there. So you might see a lot of code here, but I'm going to break it down and put it inside chunks and explain. So I'm going to explain from here, from the beginning all the way to here. So the name of our function would be rule netbox. The platform is Cisco iOS. It could be anything else that you want. And here I am going to define my function, and my function takes four parameters: configuration, commands, device, and netbox. First, we want to get the devices, the netbox devices, using the netbox SDK. And this way, we fetch all the devices that we have inside the data center infrastructure management. And in this line, device names, I am going to get the name attribute for each device inside the devices list. And here I'm going to print each device. Basically, this is just a logging and debugging section where we want to make sure that we can print all the devices that we have and see the available devices. And here I'm going to get the device by name. So this is just going to be a specific device, again using the NetBox SDK. So here we do an assertion. Basically, we want to check whether we can find that specific device or not. If we find it, then the assertion passes. If we couldn't find it, we raise this assertion error. Now let's move on. I am going to explain this chunk. So using the NetBox SDK, we're going to fetch all the interfaces. If we couldn't find the specific interface, we print no interfaces found for device and whatever device that we have. If we find the interface, then we're going to move past this block and we don't consider that. So here we are going to run a CLI command, show interfaces. And if it was up, then the status is enabled, else that means it is disabled. And we're going to put it inside this dictionary CLI interfaces, the name of the interface, and the status of it. So it would be something like eth0 0 colon either up or down. And there we go. So here we want to gather all the mismatches inside the list. So before being able to get the mismatches, we have to define the enabled and disabled statuses on NetBox and CLI. So if we gather the info, we are going to run them against each other. If NetBox interface status was not equal to CLI interface status, then we have a mismatch. And in the end, we're going to do an assertion. Assert not mismatches, meaning we don't expect any mismatches. We expect this list to be empty. But if the list was not empty, that means we have some mismatches in the list as basically just strings. And if that's the case, we are going to join those strings separated by a /n, which is just a space. So that's all I wanted to cover. I hope you learned something new. If you want to see how we can actually push this script over to NetBox and our actual devices, you can watch this video and I will see you in the next one.